we're on a European conference, International Christian Youth Works European Conference, and the guy I've got with me has flown in from Linz in Austria. Ben, you're actually a Scot. What takes a Scot? Well, poor you. But anyway, what takes a Scot to Austria to do youth ministry?
It's a very good question. The Lord, I think. In fact, I know the Lord. I've been working in a church now in Linz in Upper Austria for a year, and before that I've had lots of links to Austria, so it's been an ongoing theme in my life, and more I've just felt God really putting a burden on my heart and putting a love in my heart for the people of Linz, where I am, of Austria, and just of Austria in general. So it's something that I see myself being there hopefully for a lot longer, and just really something that is on my heart.
Well, a lot of people would have a love for Austria because they love the mountains or the sound of music or something wonderful like that. But what's the truth? Tell us, what is the state of youth ministry in Austria?
Well, first of all, Austria is a very beautiful country, as you say. It is lovely. But there's a lot of problems in Austria, and that is reflected in the youth, first of all. To start off just with the youth themselves, Austria is a culture where there's a lot of religiosity, a lot of church, mostly Roman Catholic, but also Protestant, but with a very, very small amount of real people with real living faith, who really live with Jesus and who really show others what it means to live with Jesus. And there's so much darkness in Austria. You wouldn't necessarily think it to look at it, but there's so many problems with drugs and alcohol and suicide, and it's all symptoms of a deep spiritual longing, I think, in the people, and you see that when you get to know the Austrian young people. It takes sometimes a bit of time. They can be quite reserved, but when you get to know them, you see. So it's sometimes hard. It can sometimes really break your heart, but it's a privilege to be working there with the young people. And I think the more people we have, and I have to say there are some great people in Austria, there's some great people working in youth ministry in Austria who have such a love for Jesus and who have such a love for the people there, that it really is a blessing to work with them. And there is a lot of good things going on. There's a lot of people working together, which is really good to see, because to be perfectly honest, we can't afford not to in Austria. So there are a lot of very good things going on, but it is a challenge. It's a commitment, and it's a challenge, and it's yeah.
Well, tell us about some of those things that are going on in youth ministry.
Okay. Well, I personally work in a church in Linz in Upper Austria, and even in the town that I work in, Linz, it's very exciting. We've started a youth group with another church, and that's just a kind of small example of a general willingness of the churches, as far as I can see, certainly in Linz, to work together. That's across denominational boundaries. There are some multi-church events that have been set up, which really I don't know if it would be so possible in other countries where there are enough Christians that they can afford, if you like, infighting. There are some various centres in Austria, Schloss Klaus, for example, where I personally used to work, where there's a lot of good stuff going on, and there are a lot of things going on, a lot of projects, and it's very exciting, even though it can be hard work. It is a very exciting country, I feel, to work in just now.
Well, there's going to be people watching this undoubtedly who are saying, yeah, I'll go and work in Austria. It can't be that easy, though. I mean, you've done amazingly well. You've become fluent in Austrian, German, and you've settled, and it's been awesome. What are the challenges for a non-Austrian living and ministering in Austria, would you say?
A lot of the challenges based on the kind of national character of the people, whom I love very, very much, but it's a people who are sometimes quite reserved, and it can take quite a bit of time to really get to know people. They're very, very, very friendly people on the surface, but it can sometimes take quite a lot of time to really build those relationships where you can talk about things of faith and really get to know people and really make an impact on people's lives. That's definitely a challenge, where I think, really, to be perfectly honest, I think there's a lot of things that can be done, and welcome anyone who comes for a short time to help out. But really, if anyone has a burden on their heart for the country or feels God's calling them, it is a large responsibility, I think, and something that does need a lot of commitment. But God gives people strength, God gives people vision, God gives people ideas, and there's enough of those people, and hopefully a few more soon, that really Jesus is, it sounds like such a cliche, but Jesus really is the answer for Austria, and there's so many questions and so many problems that he needs to be the answer to, and I think we really need people who are just such visible ambassadors of Christ in the country.
Well, we're going to put some contact details up at the end of this short video for those who are interested in heading out to Austria. What are the opportunities, would you say, in Austria for someone who's got a year or more to give to Austria?
There's really a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of churches that I know of personally who I think would be happy to have someone. There are also organisations such as Schloss Klaus and the Tauernhof who do a lot of work with young people who are always taking on. I did that myself after I finished high school a few years ago. I went and worked at the Schloss doing youth work for a year, which made a massive impact on my life. So really there are also short-term options available, and lots of exciting stuff to be getting done.
Ben, that's absolutely awesome. We'll stick those contact details up, but thanks ever so much.